And now, live from the studios of WHUC, this is Real Talk, where we get you something to talk about.
Hello, and thank you for joining us on today's edition of Real Talk. I'm your host, Kamaria Seaton. Today, we're excited to welcome a special group of guests. Joining us all the way from England is a group of bright, curious students who travel across the Atlantic to visit us here today at Hinds Community College. This visit is a part of a 30-year partnership that connects our two colleges, sharing ideas, building friendships, and celebrating the power of education on a global scale. So, to our guests from England, welcome to Mississippi.
Thank you.
Thank you. And welcome to Hinds, and welcome to Real Talk. Well, let's get started. Will each of you please introduce yourself just for a slight moment?
I'm Hope, and I'm studying history, geography, and law.
I'm Matthew. I'm studying criminology, sociology, and modern history.
My name's Olivia, and I'm studying law, criminology, and business.
My name's Mick. I'm studying law, business, and criminology.
I'm Scarlett. I'm studying sociology, criminology, and law.
My name's Maya. I'm studying law, criminology, and sociology.
I'm Lila, and I'm studying law, criminology, and English literature.
I'm Harmony, and I'm studying history, law, and sociology.
Okay, so most of you all are studying law.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, first thing first, how was you all's 10-hour flight? How was it so
It was
far?
long.
It was?
Yeah.
Very long.
I think most of us just went to sleep for most of the time.
Yeah.
I would too, honestly.
It was only 8.5 in the end, though, so that was a nice surprise.
Yeah.
We nearly missed our second flight, to be fair.
Yeah.
We nearly missed our next flight, but then luckily we got onto it, and then it was just an hour and a half, so it was nice and light.
Okay. Well, Harmony, I heard that this was your very first flight and your very first time out of the country. Can you tell us on how your experience has been so far, and what was it like traveling and flying to the U.S.?
It's been really good, to be fair, because you see a lot about how it can go wrong and things. We did have to run for the second flight, but the actual flights themselves went pretty smooth, so yeah, I think it could be worse, and I'm enjoying my time here, so it's definitely good first time abroad.
Yeah, that's great. Once you all have finally arrived, what was the first impressions of Mississippi that you all had?
Hot.
So
Very hot.
I think everyone was really lovely. Like, we went to dinner with our host families the first day we arrived, and the service and everyone was just
yeah,
so
the hospitality.
kind.
Yeah.
The scenery's beautiful.
It's a lot greener than I expected.
Yeah. People describe it as like, because
Concrete
when
city.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Concrete or like grey and sandy, but it's like really green out here.
Yeah. Well, it is hot. The weather be changing, going up and down sometimes. It be cold one day, hot the next. That's Mississippi for you. But have you all adjusted to the 6-hour time difference?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's getting really light over these past couple of days now. Getting up really easily. It's not that hard anymore as it was.
Yeah.
The first day was really hard.
yeah, first day
I
did not
got
wanna
up
get
around 2 a.m. and I was like up and ready, but I had to go back to sleep because it wasn't time to get up yet.
I understand that when you all first arrived here at your host family home, rather than going to sleep and getting some rest, I heard that 2 of you decided to go for a swim in the family pool around midnight. Who did that?
That was definitely
Us
me.
too.
Straight away, as soon as I saw that pool, I needed to jump in. Straight away, no matter if it was cold or hot, just had to. 'Cause we don't have that around, like background from home. It's just always cold, there's no pools around us, we have to pay a lot of money to get into them. And then it was just there. I had my swimming equipment, I was ready.
It was cold at first, but then we adjusted to the temperature, so it's quite nice.
I know y'all had a good time. It was dark and the moon was out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would enjoy that too. I understand there was also 45 degrees that night. So you said the water was cold and then you
Yeah.
warmed up. That's pretty cold to be swimming.
That's
Surprised you all to get sick.
That's
Speaking of temperatures, how are you all liking the weather here in Mississippi? Is it a really big difference? Like you stated, it was hot at first and then you kind of adjusted to it.
This is like heat wave for us.
Yeah.
It's really hot.
Yeah.
I feel like at the start it did feel worse, though.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
now
definitely.
we've gotten used to it and things.
It's a little humid and like stuffy.
I can actually wear shorts for once. Like back home, I have to joggers all year round.
Yeah.
Did you feel this trip has changed your perspective on America or American country anyway?
Yeah.
Culture
Yeah.
anyway?
Definitely.
Yeah.
It did. In what ways?
I feel like I just thought it was like a very, like most people, because in England most people are just moody and miserable.
Yeah.
So I just thought it was like that everywhere, to be honest. But we came here and everyone's been so nice and sweet, and they all treat you like you're in that community too. Like even though we're from England, they do treat us like we're part of the
Southern
community.
hospitality.
Yeah,
It's
definitely.
so, yeah.
A lot of people who are not from, the South honestly say that a lot about the hospitality here. I thought it was just common, everybody be like, hey, how you doing? I don't even know them, but, yeah. Do you feel like this, understand that you all have been here and you've been staying with your host families who kindly open their homes to you guys. How has your experience been with that?
I love it.
It's
I
been
just love
really,
it.
it's been really nice experiencing a different culture and seeing what different families do every day. And it's nice trying different food as well, because you try their home meals and just seeing what everyone does every day. It's really interesting.
Speaking of meals, what has so far been your favorite meal that your host family has cooked?
The chicken over here is a lot better.
Sloppy Joe's, my family made one night. So good.
We've mostly been out to restaurants.
Yeah.
And my favourite has been Hey Joe's Burgers or Olive Garden, where we went last night for dinner.
Okay.
It's really good.
Scarlett, I heard that you celebrated your birthday while in America. Happy
Yeah.
belated birthday, by the
Thank
way.
you.
How was it and what did you do? And I also heard you received a few gifts, and which one was your favorite one?
So we went to Vicksburg and we went to Raising Cane's and we got crumble cookie as well. I'm trying to think what else we did. We did so much that day. Oh, we went shopping.
Yeah.
Museums.
Museums as well. I had a little birthday badge on, and literally anyone you see in the corridor, it's happy birthday, happy birthday. When in England, that is not what you get.
just kinda look
if
at
it's your
you.
birthday and you've got a birthday badge on, you just get like a dodgy look. But no, it's really nice. I got, from my host family, I got a Mississippi charm skirt on my necklace at home, which is really nice. It's probably one of my favourite gifts.
It's really nice to celebrate your birthday in a different country than to receive birthday wishes from different people that you don't
Yeah,
know. It's
definitely.
kind of cool. And of course, we also talked about food a little bit earlier, but did you get to try any traditional Southern dishes, and what's been your favorite and your least favorite?
We've tried deviled eggs. They were good. I love deviled eggs.
I'm not a big fan of
I had
deviled
like
eggs.
3 or 4 that night. I was just eating them constantly.
Tried biscuits.
Yeah.
Those are
Yeah, I
really
love
good.
biscuits. They're so
So
good. It's
good.
like a scone, but
scone.
it's like savoury, and
Yeah.
you can have them warm, which is quite nice.
Really
When in England, they'd be cold.
I've had
Well, not cold, but
Yeah.
normal temperature.
Yeah.
You said you had what?
I had barbecue ribs.
I love barbecue ribs.
Definitely my
Nice
favourite.
with some barbecue sauce. And
Yeah.
anybody else?
Well, I tried crawfish for the first time. That was interesting because it's nothing back home really.
Anybody have any least favorite dishes? Like something
Deviled
like
eggs.
Say it again?
Deviled eggs.
Me too. I don't like. And I'm here from Mississippi, and I don't like deviled eggs.
I haven't tried anything I don't like. It's just things are a lot sweeter over here.
Yeah.
So if you get like a sweet treat or sweets from a shop, everything's a lot sweeter. So even if we get a whole bag between us, we won't eat it because we'll have some of it, but we won't eat the whole bag because it's so sweet.
Yeah.
Well, I did try some candy that one of the students that went to England had brought over, and you all's candy is a little more. It's not so sugary. So
Yeah,
I
definitely.
understand where you're coming from. But since we're speaking of dishes, have any of y'all tried grits?
No.
So nobody has tried grits.
No.
That is nice to know. Later in the show, we will let our guests try one of our breakfast Southern delicacies. But until then, we will take a quick break, and when we return, we will have the faculty members who travel alongside the students across the Atlantic. Stay tuned.
Real Talk will be right back after this. out of the loop of things happening around Hinds, subscribe to our WHUC YouTube channel at WHUC News 7 Hinds Community College. There you can find the latest news stories happening around the area, across the state, and more. Also, your latest Weather Authority forecast to start your day ahead and see what's going on in the world of sports. Plus, you can also watch our newscasts from day to night, replays of Real Talk and WHUC Sports Journal. Check it out today on your mobile device or your computer. Locally owned, always local. WHUC. And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Kamaria Seaton. And if you're just now tuning in today's Real Talk show, you are in for a treat. I have the Bridgwater faculty and students who will travel across the Atlantic to be with us here today. Let's welcome Mr. John Hardling and Miss Karen Crowley to the set. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you.
Okay. Hinds Community College and Bridgewater College has had a partnership for 30 years to this date. Mr. John, how has this partnership allowed students to explore outside of the traditional classroom and environment that they're used to?
Yeah. We had affiliation for about 30 years now, which is great. For the students, it's different. The Southern hospitality, coming out of their comfort zone. You know, as you said, some Harmony and some others are first-time travellers. So them being sort of independent, going to host families, it advances their BTC advantage we have in the college, which is better communicator, improve their skills and their knowledge. But I think the affiliation gives them a bit more of the global, understanding global education and not just education in the UK.
Mrs. Crowley, I understand that this is your first time traveling to America as well. And how has your experience been so far, and what are some major takeaways?
So yeah, it is my first time, and I am excited every single day. I've loved every single second. For me, so I studied history as my degree, and I did a lot in American history. And for me, like, the most amazing thing is to actually see the museums and meet people from a culture that I've studied for so long. It's just been really great, and it's an amazing. So I teach UK law, and we've gone to a number of courthouses, and we've discussed different laws and the court systems, and it's been really great to reflect and see how, whilst our cultures are very, very similar, there are those differences, and it's good to kind of see and analyse the benefits of each system and just show that comparison.
I understand that you traveled here to Mississippi with Bridgewater students several times before. Is it anything that you may have seen on this trip that you haven't seen before?
The Governor's Mansion, where they had the chance to go to the Governor's Mansion, and for some reason we went to Raising Cane's. I've never been there before. It wasn't the true Southern hospitality, but hey, we enjoyed it. I think, the good thing about having these A-level students, I think I've seen something a lot different to do with the history, a lot more about the history of the South, Mississippi. Going to the Mississippi Museum, the Civil Rights Museum. I've been there before, but they've had extra stuff. So I'm meeting, I forgot the guy's name now. Karen, can you help me out with the guy's name that we met in?
Where?
In the Mississippi Civil Rights Museum. Can you remember his name?
His first name's Zaya.
Zaya.
Do you know his second name? First name's Zaya.
Hezekiah Watkins?
Yeah, so we met him, which is something that we have, and he gave us a talk to the students, and we all purchased his book. It was just amazing to have some of those freedom riders that, when he was 13 and he explained his journey, and it was a fantastic day yesterday to have that experience to understand his journey in Mississippi. So that was, so I've seen some different stuff. But I probably won't be going back to Raising Cane's again. It's not my best.
Yeah, I wouldn't recommend that. I'd say go to Zaxby's.
Yeah, it's just Scarlett's birthday, so she wanted to go there. She's seen it on TikTok, so we done that.
Well, Mr. Hezekiah Watkins also, visited the Utica Institute Museum as well. He also spoke about his book here as well, so that's pretty cool. But just before we go to break, we would like to know from all of you, out of everything you've done so far, what has been the most memorable experience? probably go by one. So.
The food.
Food?
Yeah.
I think maybe meeting the Freedom Rider because it's not an everyday opportunity.
Yes.
I think going to Memphis was really fun.
Yeah, we did Civil Rights Museum and the Freedom Rider.
The pool in my host family's home.
I really enjoyed visiting Graceland and Elvis Presley's house. I think it was really interesting seeing like just the whole history about him and all of his fancy costumes and everything. It was really cool.
I'd say my favourite was going to Graceland and meeting the Freedom Rider yesterday.
I think probably my favourite thing is just spending time with the host families because they're just so nice, and then you get to experience it on a personal level rather than like a touristy location.
Yeah, for me, it's got to be like the National Civil Rights Museum, meeting a Freedom Rider, and the pink car in Graceland. Well, yeah, I'm definitely a fan, yeah.
Sorry, pink car, everything's pink. I think, yeah, it's very difficult to single one out, but I think that Freedom Rider was one of the highlights for me at the moment. But I think there's little things that we've done, you know, the host family. I'm coming back to the host family that hosted me before, so it was great to see their kids grown up, because I didn't come last year, so that was a great time and experience to spend with them. But I think it's little pockets, and I think one of the things that I've seen these develop, I don't know these students, I don't teach these students, I've met them previously coming here, but seeing them coming out of their shell is what I do for a job. It's important to see these and seeing them smiling and doing stuff, so that's my highlight, is part of seeing them develop.
When we return from a quick break, we're going to have you try a southern delicacy, and that's native to Mississippi and Texas. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned.
Real Talk will be right back after this.
Greetings, wonderful students of Hinds Community College, Utica campus. I'm Delisha Banks, a proud multimedia journalist and reporter here at WJTV 12 News. The Radio and Television Production Broadcasting Technology program at Hinds in Utica has prepared me for such a time as this. It's why I'm able to stand here today and talk to you. So if you would like to be like me someday, reporting the news and being a voice for the voiceless, make the right decision and choose Hinds in Utica and choose the Radio and Television Production and Broadcasting Technology program.
When it comes to different topics around the Hinds community, Real Talk is the answer.
The alumni who have graduated from the program.
A lot of that is them getting to know me.
This is the show that talks about lifestyle, culture, fashion, art, and having you in the know of what's going on across the Utica campus and the entire community college of Hinds. Be sure to watch Real Talk exclusively on Hinds' very own WHUC.
And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back to Real Talk. I'm your host, Kamaria Seaton. And for those who are just now joining us, we have several students and advisors who travel all the way from England to be here with us at Hinds Community College. Now let's get into something a bit tasty. Your trip would not be complete without trying a breakfast delicacy here in the South, which are grits. You all can now try your grits.
Okay.
I'm so scared.
I like the grits.
I don't like
No,
it.
it's not me. This is not me.
It's not that bad.
I
feel like it would go with, like, if you put a load of honey in it.
Yeah.
No, this is not me. I
Yeah.
can't.
Savoury. It tastes like pepper.
No.
No offense, but that's not for me.
This, I couldn't eat this.
It's the consistency and the such a bland
Yeah.
John, I need to send it to like
I
it.
do that.
watery biscuit.
No.
Linus, like, I need
Is
to,
it more so?
I need water.
Is it more so the flavor-wise? or
Flavor.
It's the texture,
It's the
it's the
flavour.
flavour.
It's the texture. It's both.
Is it
The
gritty?
flavour's really bland.
I don't know what it is. It's not, yeah.
You're getting back for
It's not
more.
me.
Maybe
like
if I had it all the time, maybe I'd like it, but this is
No,
this
I
is
can
so-
say
If you got
I
used
just
to
think
the
it's really
texture,
bland.
maybe.
Y'all
It has no
cheese in
flavour to
y'all's.
it.
I love
the
cheese
flavour
in
is the
mine.
texture, do
You
you know
have
what I
cheese
mean?
on this.
Okay.
Yes, it's
What?
Why didn't we get
it's
cheese
so
in
much
it?
better with American cheese in it.
American cheese.
Yeah,
Cheese in a can.
American cheese.
Bright orange.
So, hands up who's going to have grits in New Orleans.
Best place to try grits.
I'll have a biscuit. I'll have a biscuit. Yeah. Not great.
I think I'll stick to cereal.
I can really say that the grits is my favourite test in this one, but we have to get
really
cheesy
good aftertaste.
grits.
Yes, cheesy grits are the best grits. I don't feel like that's persuading you guys to try it again. All right, now that you have traveled to 3 states since you've been here, which have been Mississippi, Tennessee, and you all be going to Louisiana over this weekend, we wanted to bring you a staple from Texas, very own Buc-ee's. Since you haven't got a chance to go to Texas, we will soon have one opening here in Mississippi. But then Crystal wanted you to try one of Buc-ee's popular snacks, which are beaver nuggets. So you can try those too.
Why are they called beaver?
Because it's like little golden nuggets, and it's from the gas station called Buc-ee's.
Oh, okay.
Have you all heard of Buc-ee's?
Smell test.
Yes, yeah.
It's good.
Wait, it's sweet.
Yeah.
It tastes like sweet.
For me?
It tastes like popcorn.
Yeah.
It's too sweet for you?
Not sweet enough. I
Not
love
sweet
it. Yeah.
enough?
Yeah, no, this is like
Okay,
I
so
like
for
it
me,
really
I'll stick with the grits.
It tastes like cereal, actually.
It tastes like cereal.
That's not too bad. That's okay.
There's a sweet
Sweet.
No, like
Yeah, I
the
agree.
unsweet.
I think it's better than the grits.
It tastes like the butterscotch popcorn.
Yeah. It was different.
This
was
one
good.
passed the test, you're
Yeah.
right then?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
They'll be going back for more then.
I will.
Oh yeah.
How would you all rate the Buc-ee nuggets?
A good
8 out of
7.5.
Yeah,
8
7.
I would go for 8. Yeah.
And what about the grits?
2.
1.
0.
I'll go 8.
No.
I think if it was
If there was
flavoured,
more
would
stuff
be-
in it,
Yeah.
if I had it with something else, I could have
When
it.
you
But
go to Louisiana,
Yeah.
they put like shrimp and different
Shrimp.
things. Shrimp and grits. You can have it with catfish. You can have it with different things.
You can tell with everything.
Honey and cheese.
I just feel like there's no
They don't
flavour
do
to it.
So you
chicken
gotta
grits.
add.
Yeah, if you
something
add
like
stuff
that.
to it, I feel like
burger
it would
grits.
Yeah, I'm not
So y'all
interested then.
recommend the American cheese? Okay.
We experienced some
We
in the can,
tried
didn't we,
the
other
one
day?
in the can.
Yeah.
That was
a Hinds
interesting.
student gave us squirty cheese in a can on a cracker, and
It
it
was
not.
sour?
Yeah.
It wasn't
Wait,
good.
what, who gave you that?
Andrew.
At the high
You can't know. I don't recommend that cheese at all.
Oh, okay.
It didn't even taste like cheese.
It just tasted not real.
It wasn't good.
I haven't had that since I was really little. I didn't really like it then. I would like to thank Bridgewater faculty and students for taking time out of their busy travel schedule to sit down and talk to us about their travel abroad, their experience in America, and trying some Southern delicacy. We're going to take a quick break, but when we return, we will talk to some of our Hinds Community College students and faculty who have the chance to travel to England over the spring break. Stay tuned.
Real Talk will be right back after this. And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back to Real Talk. I'm your host, Kamaria Seaton. And for those who are just not joining us, I have two of my colleagues who have traveled abroad over spring break as a 30-year partnership with Bridgewater College in the UK. Let's give a warm round of applause for Kai Beard and Tyler Dotson. Kai, I understand that this was your first flight and your first time traveling outside the country. How's your experience and would you fly again?
Okay, so traveling
abroad was my first, and I had fun. Getting on the flight, I was nervous for my first flight leaving from Jackson to Charlotte because I didn't know that your ears will hurt if you're next to the window for a first-time flyer. And when we landed, my ears was hurting for like 5 to 6 hours. And when we got into the second flight to London, I was asleep the whole time. Wow. It was relaxing, watching the movies, actually having my classmate Andrew next to me to keep me calm because I was nervous. But will I fly again? Yes, I'm going to, because I love flying, seeing the earth, seeing all the little ants. I call them little ants, but seeing everybody down there, it was so much fun. So I will fly again.
Yes. When you landed into the new country, what were your first thoughts, you guys? Like, what did you expect and what did you see?
You want to go first? So, landing in the country, it was cool. It was very peaceful. Meeting different people that talk different than us, it was different. But meeting the Bridgwater students, going to see my host family, that was fun.
Yeah, it was fun.
How did you all adjust to the time difference? And did you all fall asleep like in the middle of the day while the sun was still out?
No. So, funny story. So when we leaving from the castle, we went out to eat, went to go to our rooms. We were supposed to explore, but we didn't. So it was like all of us was tired from being in the flight because we call it our 24-hour flight. We went to our rooms and went straight to sleep. But we woke up at like 2 o'clock in the morning and did not go back to sleep. Wow. So we didn't get adjusted to it until like 2 or 3 days later. So that was like weird for us, but it was really fun because we, all of us as a class, we bonded that night because all of us were shy to talk. So that was really fun.
I understand that you all traveled to different historic monuments such as Big Ben, Roman Baths, Wells Market, and the Cathedral. How was it seeing those in person? Tyler, can you answer for me first?
It was nice.
What did you mostly enjoy about it?
Not one specific thing. It was just nice to see.
What about you, Kai?
I love the history. I love seeing how the Romans went to that actually like had the country, and seeing how women and men, they was in different parts, and yeah.
Not only did you all get to see some amazing historic buildings and things, but you also got a chance to play a game of Skittles. Can you all explain what Skittles is? And I don't mean the candy.
So Skittles is a certain type of like American bowling, but you know how in America we have 3 holes in our balls? They don't. So it's like a huge marble. So imagine like a marble, but they're huge in different weights.
How do you hold it?
Okay, so you hold it like this, like in one hand, but if you're like short like me, I had to hold it with 2 hands. So you roll it like a bowling ball, but there are different levels because the floor is different and they don't have, if you hit the wall, it don't count. So when you hit it, you have to hit it in a certain spot and you roll it like a regular bowling ball. So, yeah.
All right. Are there any funny and memorable moments that you all can remember off the top of your head?
Okay, so for me, my favorite moment was when we went to Bridgewater College. Like, I live with the VP with me and Tia, and we had lunch with them, and I had a scone. And if you guys don't know what a scone is kind of like a biscuit, but it's softer. So I did not know how to eat it because I was so hungry that day. And so I was like, okay, we're gonna eat it like a regular biscuit, okay? Me and Andrew, I was like, Andrew, you supposed to eat it like this? Okay, I ate it and it got stuck on my back of my teeth because they're so soft. And I tried a pickled onion. Yeah, that was not my favorite because they did say try new things, try the English food. And I tried a pickled onion and that was not my favorite, and I made everybody laugh. So that was my favorite. What was yours, Tyler?
Probably I'm not sure. I don't think there was a lot, but I'd say probably the flight in was fun, or a funny moment.
Since we discussed food, what are some of you all's most wildest, unique food that you all have tried, and which one was your most favorite or least favorite?
Want to go?
Least favorite, probably the hamburger I had over there. Probably the most favorite was beans on toast. It wasn't that bad.
What about you?
So I tried different cultures. I tried Korean, Italian, Greek, and English food. My least favorite, I don't like beans and toast, but I do like that HP sauce. I love the HP sauce.
What is that?
So HP sauce, you know, it's like the Hinds 57 sauce that we have here.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like that, but it's their Hinds 57. So it's called HP sauce, or they call it the brown sauce. I like that. I love their roast. But my favorite food was when I had Korean, and I never tried Korean before. So we went to this shop. We was coming from the wrong baths. We was looking for food, and we had Korean, and I had kimchi rice with kimchi steak and spicy chicken, which me and my friend Amelia had, and it was so good. And I tried Italian for the first time, and I know y'all say pizza is Italian, but Italian food, oh my God, I love Italian food. It's so good. I had a pasta with cheese, and it was kind of like a spaghetti sauce, but it was a little sweet, so it was really good.
Yeah, since we still talking about food, is the Italian food, is it more so like American Italian food, or is it?
No. So, you know how in America we have different cultures here? So in the UK, in our Italian restaurant, it's called Ask Italian in England. If any one of y'all want to go over there, they're so good. They are cooked by Italian people. So they're coming from their country, they have the thing, they cook it there. They cook it just like how they do in their country, and it's so good. So have you ever tried raspberry lemonade?
Yes, I have.
You tried it?
Yes.
Theirs over there, they had it made pure. So it's like real lemons, real raspberry, and it's so good. No sugar, no nothing. It just tastes, it's amazing.
Wow. We are having a great time speaking to Hinds students about their travel abroad experience. We will take a quick break, and when we return, we will have the Hinds faculty members who traveled alongside the students across the Atlantic. Stay tuned.
When stories hit home, you can trust the WHUC News 17 to give you the information you need.
Here's the photos, Thursday, August 19th.
If it's Hinds Community College news around the campuses.
And this is only the beginning. We have a full week of activity.
Weather.
And now in Crystal Springs, as you can see,
Sports.
Hinds is ready to get back to usual by starting the semester off with sports.
And more. We are WHUC News 7, Hinds' only college news station that cares.
Hi, I'm Jacob Schroeder, a proud graduate of the radio, television production, and broadcasting program at Hinds Community College in Utica. After graduating from that program, I had the opportunity to land my dream job in my career at Twin States News Television here in Meridian. Long story short, if you want a career like mine and enjoy telling stories that your community will care about, go to an award-winning program, the radio, television production, and broadcasting program at Hinds Community College in Utica, and you can be just like me on TV. I'm Jacob Schroeder.
And now, Real Talk continues.
Welcome back. I'm your host, Kamaria Seaton. And if you are just not tuning in today's Real Talk, you are in for a treat. I have the Hinds faculty, administrative, and students who travel from across the Atlantic to see another perspective of the world. Let's welcome Mr. Eric Bobo, Dr. Laura McDavid, and Dean Timothy Chrysler. How y'all doing today?
Doing great.
How are you?
Great.
All right. Hinds Community College has a long-standing partnership in such exchange programs. From your viewpoint, how does this immersive experience enhance learning beyond the traditional classroom?
I think that getting a chance to go out and travel and to see another culture, to see another group, is that kind of learning, that experiential kind of learning that you don't get in a classroom. We can go, we can have classes, we can talk about a lot of the things, a lot of what goes on in a different country and a lot of what it's like to be in a different country, but until you go and experience it yourself, you don't really get I think, a clear picture of what that's like. And then being able to go there and see their history, their way of life, being able to live with them, being able to eat with them, it gives you a lot more of I think, a tangible experience than just being a tourist and just being somebody going and seeing the sights. You're actually meeting people, living with them, getting to know them, and that gives you, I think, a lot of a closer touch to what it's like to be there.
Traveling to a different country offers a lot of learning outside the classroom. Can you share some cultural differences that you noticed during the trip that really stood out to any of you all?
Well, I felt like the part that was most surprising and special to me was getting to meet the people that were with their group, the teachers, the faculty, the administration, and their students. We really got to spend some time sharing, swapping stories, comparing not only foods but music, and we talked about TV shows. I found some things that I really could not believe that they watch that we don't watch, and I was really impressed with that. And I loved getting to go to all of the beautiful museums and all of the beautiful sites, but what I really enjoyed was staying with somebody at their home and learning about their educational system. And I hope that I felt like the students got the same out of that. I think they were a little nervous having to go stay with somebody, but it turned out to be probably one of the most rewarding parts of it.
Right, and I agree with, and one of the biggest things that I think is that they're very compact.
Yeah.
When I say that, there's an incident where I kept bumping my head because I'm kind of tall in one of the cottages that we stayed in. Everything is a little bit smaller, more compact, even with their vehicles. They came here. One of the first things one of the students said when I pulled up in my truck, "Oh my God, it's massive."
Right.
And so they're conservative, very conservative as far as gas prices and all of that too. It's a little bit different. And I think that was what I kind of saw, which we're experiencing the fluctuation in gas as well over here. But I think they're very conservative, but still you felt that Mississippi hospitality, even over in England, very warm, welcoming, to welcome you into their homes and things like that.
I really enjoyed, kind of once you sort of get there and you get moved in and you start staying with somebody for a couple of days, you kind of get into their rhythm a little bit too. You see how they have to go about their lives. They go from work and they get us and they take us home with them, and how their sort of daily life sort of goes. And it's nice to sort of, you kind of feel after a day or two that you're sort of part of their group and their way of life. It's they're always, I think that they're just as curious about the things that we do as we are about them. So it always is easy to talk about things that we do versus things that they do. And so that's something, like I said, that you can't teach in a classroom. You kind of have to just experience that.
Yes. Dr. McDavid, with this being your first time traveling to England with Hinds, what were some of your expectations for the trip?
Actually, the thing that I thought that surprised me the most was how much their school stepped in to help us make this a smooth trip. If they wouldn't have been there, it would have been so much more complicated as far as traveling. They were amazing. There was not a moment where they didn't have a van waiting, telling us, we didn't have to worry about where we were going. We just got to go see and enjoy. Their staff really stepped in and helped us I cannot tell you how. Now I feel comfortable that if I wanted to go back, I could go with no problem. Going over there, I was like, oh, if he's not going, if you're not, I'm not going. You know, it's like I could drive. There's no way I could drive on the wrong side of the road, and so. But it wasn't a problem. Nothing was a problem. Didn't matter where we were going. We just got in the van and went and enjoyed it. And that was I've been on many trips where I am the one with the map going, where are we going? This was much better.
And I most definitely can agree with you. I don't think I would want to have to navigate those roads. Because it was, Bridgwater is kind of rural. So it reminds me of rural Mississippi. But still, if you're not familiar with the place and to have guides like that and their instructors with us on the trip and getting us where we need to go, we probably wouldn't have made it to some of the sights and scenes that we saw.
Exactly. And I absolutely thought our students bonded and took care. They were top notch on the trip. They really behaved well and became friends. We didn't have to
force that relationship.
There could be a time, there are times where this doesn't happen, I don't think, as well.
Right.
And they really had I think they had a good time, but I know that they made Hinds look really well. They behaved really well.
Mr. Bobo, you traveled to England just last year and again this year. Did you notice anything this time that caught you off guard, or?
No, I've been to England several times. I went once when I was in grad school, and then I went a couple of years ago with Hinds, and then I went back this year. And I think Dean Chrysler's been as well before with Hinds, COVID year, as a matter of fact. So I enjoy kind of moving when you have to kind of get into a different mindset. I think once you get there. One, because the cars are coming at you on the wrong side of the road, but once you sort of get in there, it's, you know, I was there 2 years ago, and you know, there's not, you know, it's still kind of the same to me. I think that, you know, they worry about a lot of the same things that we do. They're concerned about a lot of the things that we are. You know, kind of the only thing, I guess, in that couple of years that I know changed is that I was looking forward to see if some of the money had changed, because after the death of Queen Elizabeth II, the money changes now and has Prince Charles or King Charles on it now, and so I was kind of interested to kind of see that. But you know, I know that you went to college. I didn't, and I kind of felt almost like at home again. That it was. You know, I've been there and I knew kind of what to expect, and I really, you know, I really enjoyed every year. And I'm going to kind of do what Dr. McDavitt said, and you know, I thought this group did extremely well. And but on the other side of that, I was the thing I think that I was, you know, the most comfortable with is how much effort it takes on both sides of the Atlantic to sort of do this. And Katie and Louise and all of the staff over there, they work so hard to make sure that we have a great itinerary, that everything gets lined up. And then Dean Crayson and all the staff in the honors department, they do the same thing.
Right.
You know, it is a real team sort of effort, and that team was sort of still there. I stayed, and Dr. McDavitt stayed. We stayed in well, they call him the principal of the college. Andy is he's what would here, I guess, would be our president. And it's, you know, 2 years ago, they were, you know, talking about adding, you know, different, more campuses, doing, expanding, doing things like that. They were concerned about enrollment 2 years ago. We get back, you know, 2 years later, they're still expanding and they're still concerned about enrollment. So it's nice to sort of see that we can, we have a lot of similarities between things that are going on here and things that are going on there, and that's still, I think, the case today.
Yeah.
And it is amazing to me how excited they are to meet us. We kind of have a, you know, you think, well, we're just from Mississippi, but they think coming to Mississippi is pretty cool. I mean, and we're sitting there going, so you really want to go to? But I took one of the instructors to Costco yesterday, and she thought that was amazing. So just going into different shops and seeing the street fairs, and it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And
it is a beautiful partnership.
It is. It's so it's not you're not trying to downplay the fact that we went to some amazing things, but even here, I think it's the relationship that makes the difference. Although I was amazed that I got to stand on, Stephen Hawking's grave, and it's like things like that. It was amazing, but when you walk away from it, I think the relationships are going to be what you remember. I think. But.
Mr. Bobo, earlier, Dean Krista mentioned that you traveled to England once before during the COVID years, which was about 5 years ago. How was that experience compared to the recent one that you just took?
It was a lot different because preparing to get ready to go over, we were already anticipating COVID, and we took precautions, safety precautions, and we thought the trip was going to be canceled, really, but we were excited that after all our months of preparation, we were still allowed to go. Dr. Muse was the president at that time and different dean of the honors department at that time, so things have changed 5 years ago to now. We got over there, and I think the most shocking thing was, of course, which I got to experience this time, Big Ben was closed because it was under renovation. And so you didn't really get to see its beauty and massiveness of that centerpiece there in the city of London. And so this time I got to see it because the scaffolding and everything was not up. Coming out, getting away from over there was scary because the country was getting ready to shut down for 30 days and no flights would be allowed back into the U.S. And so we barely got out of London on the final day of our trip. We did get to complete it though, and no one got sick, and we were just blessed. So it was great travel. I think one of my favorite things this time around being over there was our opportunity to go into Parliament because we didn't get to do that 5 years ago. And this was the first time, from what I understand, that even some of our English friends got to go into that. It was a first for these students, a great experience to go and see that. And you don't get to see that every day, and so that was just great.
We would like to know from all of you, out of everything you've done so far, what has been the most memorable experience?
That's a hard one.
It is a hard one.
Anybody? What was Blenheim Palace was probably my favorite tour. That's where Churchill's family resided, and it was quite impressive. I enjoyed that one. I think I enjoyed them all, or Cheddar. Cheddar. We went to the home of where Cheddar cheese was. That was a beautiful. It's just a little bitty. We just stopped for a few minutes, but it was beautiful. Beautiful.
We all got our smoked cheese.
Yeah, we did. We had. But what about you?
It's different for me because a lot of the things that we have done, I have done before, but I am still always, I think, a little bit moved when we go to some of the abbeys and go to some of the churches and things like that. But I really kind of enjoyed, I've been to Parliament before. But I've never, even this time, we got to see the chapel. Some of the things that we had never seen, or I had never seen before. And being taken down, for example, the chapel.
The chapel was amazing.
In Parliament was amazing, and I really always, of course, enjoy the Abbey. I've always found something to sort of take away from going to the Abbey. I'm always sort of in awe of all of the history that's in there, and of course, me being a history teacher, it's kind of visceral to me, and to be able to kind of duck off into the side and go see the grave of Queen Elizabeth I, and to be able just to see all of the history that's been there. Going into the Great Hall in in Parliament and
That was cool.
seeing where all the markers where people who have had their funerals there have lay and stayed. It's always kind of an interesting thing too. But being able to go up into the gallery while Parliament was actually in session,
That was really
and
nice.
see
That was
some
cool.
of the debate that was going on was, I think, kind of one of my highlights.
That was a
I
highlight.
happy to
That
see
was
that.
amazing.
I was really excited to see that.
Exactly. That was really amazing to see some of their problems are similar to ours here, especially the farmers.
Because they
were
happened to be
debate.
debating a farm
Exactly.
thing while we were there.
It was interesting.
Exactly. I think also one of my favorites was to be able, from 5 years ago, going back and actually getting to reunite with my host family
Right.
again. That I stayed with a different host family this time. Sam and her daughter India, they were amazing. Hey, you guys. And but to get back and see Claire and oh Lord, I'm drawing a blank right now on my best friend's name over there. Kevin.
Yeah.
Kevin and Claire. And we did something special this time. In my honor, which I thought was just I mean, it almost moved me to tears. He brought me back, and we went into their garden, and he told me, he said, you know, it's been a while since you've been over here, and a tradition that we do, we're going to plant a tree in your honor. So he planted a fruit tree in his backyard, and he said, when it bears fruit, I'm going to send you. And we stay in touch all the time, and I think that's one of the most unique things about this partnership. These students that traveled over, and we don't have all of them here today that went over with us because of scheduling issues, but you meet people and they become lifelong friends. And I think that's one of my favorite parts because Kevin and Claire, and I'm sure I have this same relationship with Sam and India, we stay in touch. I mean, it's not, you know, a couple of weeks or months to go by and Kevin will reach out and say, hey, it's time for us to have a chat. Let's video chat. When can we arrange? But he knows my whole family, even though he and Claire welcomed me into their home. But now they're there, and we're trying to do that same relationship. And these young ladies that I had an opportunity to host this time when some of the students came over, and they built a relationship with my daughter. And I know they'll be friends forever. And I've told them, you always got a place to stay when you come to Mississippi. And so, and they're trying to get her to come over and stay with them. So that's what I really like about this.
When he was with his host family that day, you went with that Sunday.
Right.
I went shopping and met Karen, who is the instructor that y'all talked to yesterday. Met her immediately and was like, oh, you've got to stay with me. And so she's here with me, and now she's met some of our friends, and I feel confident that our friends will be going to see her because there's a relationship now that she's found friends here, you know, and so I think, and she'll be back hopefully next year, and we can, so we've now built a relationship, and you never know, you never know. It's a wonderful opportunity to expand your friends, and you can travel.
Yeah, while Tim was with his host family and you were shopping, Katie Hawkins and her fiance Rich came and cooked Sunday dinner for us, and Tyler came and ate lunch with us too. And so we had, you know, a Sunday dinner, and traditional Sunday dinner. They cooked roast, and they had all the fixings sort of for us, and that's kind of the stuff that you know, going to a Burger King is not the same as being able to sit down and as a group and have and share a meal together. And those relationships are still, I think, one of the greatest things about this whole program.
Good to have friends across the pond.
It is.
I would like to thank Hinds faculty, administrators, and students for taking time out of their busy travel schedule to sit down and talk to us about their experience abroad, their reflections on American versus British life, and their biggest takeaways from the trip. Remember to like us on Facebook at Radio and Television Production, and subscribe to our YouTube channel at WHUC News 7, Hinds Community College, Utica Campus. And you are watching Real Talk. Until next time.